Hey everyone, I'm thrilled you could join today as we walk through the essential gear and modern workflows that actually make a high-quality live production truly sing, showing exactly where smart clip-making tools fit in. We need to think about the physical backbone of any long-form stream: cameras, capture devices, and robust connectivity, and then how to turn that mountain of footage into snackable viral content automatically. I plan to keep this conversation casual, just like chatting with a friend who runs shows but is tired of burning out trying to manage all the social media follow-up. Let's kick things off with the cameras, because your entire visual quality for the stream begins right at the source, demanding consideration for multi-camera environments. For complex events like lectures, courtrooms, or large worship services, pan-tilt-zoom cameras, or PTZs, are frequently the most practical and versatile option available. While many PTZs might look similar with common OEM hardware underneath, the real differentiators are the sensor quality, the optics package, and the fundamental engineering behind the unit. The newer, more advanced 4K PTZs we are now seeing on the market check off nearly every box, delivering 4K at 60 frames per second output. Crucially, they often feature a 1-inch Sony sensor, which provides substantially better low-light performance, a massive win for challenging venues. Phase detection autofocus is another key feature, finally eliminating that maddening hunting behavior that plagues older models and ruins critical shots. Furthermore, having built-in neutral density or ND filters internally is a tiny miracle, allowing exposure control without needing to adjust external lighting rigs. These high-end PTZs really showcase their flexibility when we look at connectivity, supporting broadcast-grade 12G SDI with Genlock for those larger infrastructure chains. For modern IP-first workflows, they often include both full-bandwidth NDI and the more efficient NDI-DOHX, alongside legacy HDMI and SDI connections for maximum compatibility. You also get essential professional features that used to require external boxes, like onboard Genlock, tally light integration, and even a proper mic line XLR input with phantom power. The inclusion of onboard microSD for ISO recording means you always have a clean, high-quality local backup, independent of the mainstream reliability. And surprisingly, the onboard auto-tracking capability is genuinely good, making it perfect for single-person productions where the camera keeps talent perfectly framed while you handle everything else. However, for true industrial-scale automated framing, especially when planning for complex multi-stage broadcasts involving augmented reality overlays, an external AI solution is necessary. This is where a cloud AI tracker pairs with the camera. The camera provides fast autofocus and a clean video feed, while the AI brings in smarter subject identification and multi-person tracking data. When you combine these two systems, you create a remote production dream capable of delivering excellent visuals, accurate motion tracking, and crucial metadata for all your downstream editing tools. Now let's transition to capture, which is the stage where devices often compared to Magewell-style boxes step in to be the unsung heroes of your setup. If you have ever needed to reliably get an HDMI or SDI source signal into a computer for streaming or recording, you know these small boxes are absolutely indispensable. The newest generation of USB capture boxes has significantly advanced the game, offering small, plug-and-play units that reliably capture 4K at 60 frames per second over a very beefy USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 link. This high throughput is vital for creators who require uncompromised 4K footage with full 4:4:4 color space, or need to capture high frame rate gaming footage without installing any internal PCIe cards. These devices are designed to keep things simple, offering crucial UVC driver-free operation for flawless compatibility with OBS, vMix, Teams, Zoom, or virtually any software you run. They smartly utilize onboard FPGA processing power, so the main host computer doesn't get completely hammered by the input signal, which is a huge deal for complex setups. For gamers or streamers running extremely heavy applications, having that dedicated FPGA headroom is often the only difference between smooth, perfect capture and frustrating dropped frames. When you pair these powerful capture devices with a compact production appliance, like a Director Mini-style unit, you create a tiny but incredibly powerful all-in-one studio. That single box handles the switching, the graphic overlays, a basic replay engine, the audio mixing, and the final encoding, consolidating so much gear. The Director Mini approach is particularly interesting because it treats remote control as a first-class feature accessible via a full web user interface from any device. From that browser, you can switch scenes, trigger complex overlays, scrub through replay clips instantly, and manage the entire audio mixer without being physically present. It shows incredible versatility by supporting the immediate input of mobile phones as camera sources via low latency connections, NDI sources, pre-recorded segments, and even live web pages as inputs. The system also supports advanced features like alpha layer NDI overlays and animated lower thirds. Plus, it integrates directly with devices like the Stream Deck via an API. For a single operator running a major live stream, having the ability to execute complex, multi-step actions with just one button press via that integration is an absolute game changer for efficiency. Now, to put this physical part of the workflow together, you route your high-quality PTZs and capture devices into that compact production appliance, which then streams to your CDN and records ISO footage. That's the live show done perfectly, but the critical question remains: what happens next with all that massive recorded file? That's precisely where a tool like Vizard naturally enters the picture. Vizard is the intelligent AI assistant designed specifically to automatically transform those lengthy recordings, like 90-minute services, into perfectly polished, ready-to-post social clips. Instead of spending frustrating hours manually scrubbing through hours of panel discussions or sermons just to find the few moments that truly matter, Vizard instantly pinpoints applause, major reaction shots, punchy one-liners, and visual peaks. It then produces snackable clips that are already optimized for each specific platform, whether that means vertical framing for Reels and TikTok, short landscape snippets for YouTube Shorts, or mid-length cuts for Twitter or LinkedIn. This automated process can even apply fundamental edits right out of the gate, such as adding a consistent intro bumper, a concluding outro screen, burn and necessary subtitles, and applying your established branding. But Vizard goes much deeper than just generic clip cutting. It intelligently understands pacing across the entire video, meaning you won't end up with 15 nearly identical clips. The system surfaces high engagement segments based on a sophisticated understanding of both audio and visual cues, moving far beyond simple decibel spikes for accurate identification. It also allows you to set a proactive posting cadence, which is key to ensuring your social media feed maintains a consistent and predictable rhythm for your audience. The auto-schedule feature is truly low-effort gold, allowing you to define frequency and timing rules, so Vizard cues clips for automatic publishing or simply suggests a calendar you can quickly review and tweak. Your finalized content calendar then becomes a single, unified place to manage, reschedule, and make final tweaks to posts across every single platform without bouncing between multiple applications. To compare, some clip tools rely only on volume spikes or require you to manually set markers, and they typically fail to handle bulk scheduling or cross-platform optimization effectively. Vizard, conversely, is built from the ground up to handle both the creative discovery work, finding the true hits, and the heavy operational work of queuing them perfectly to go live when you specify. When you add up the time saved from not manually editing, you realize this workflow frees up actual hours every single week, which is more than enough time to produce another entire live show or focus on creative strategy. In real-world integration notes that truly matter, Vizard has the flexibility to pull source footage from the ISO files recorded directly onto the camera's microSD cards. It can also pull from the main recording archive on your Director appliance, or even access cloud-hosted recordings if your encoder is set up to upload directly to an S3-compatible object store. You can configure it to start generating clips automatically the second a stream ends, or set it to continuously process an ongoing live feed and flag moments for your manual review and approval. For creators who embrace hybrid workflows involving local capture, cloud editing, and remote social managers, this level of source flexibility makes scaling content production painless without increasing headcount. Finally, let's talk connectivity, which, as you know, is the one component that can cause the most agonizing sleepless nights for producers. You can have the sexiest cameras and the best capture box on the market, but a single moment of flaky uplink stability will absolutely kill your entire broadcast presentation. Fortunately, bonding routers have matured significantly, with modern devices expertly combining multiple cellular modems, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and even Starlink into one single powerful bonded pipe. The true secret sauce lies within the bonding technology itself, as a good system will automatically failover between links, intelligently balance the load, and keep your stream rock solid when any single connection temporarily dips in quality. A few practical specifications you absolutely must look for include onboard SIM slots, so you can choose your preferred carriers, dedicated SFP++ Ethernet ports for a hardwired fallback connection, and optional battery support for true portability. Furthermore, look for a robust web interface that clearly shows per-connection bandwidth usage and lets you precisely set priorities or cap usage if necessary. There is also a neat feature some advanced routers offer. Let's call it guest device bonding, where attendees can share their personal phone's data via an app to help augment the aggregate uplink bandwidth. That feature is incredibly clutch in crowded venues where the official Wi-Fi is totally saturated and the cellular towers are otherwise congested, ensuring your stream prevails. In the real world, we've seen bonding routers keep complex multi-hour remote productions totally stable even when an operator accidentally shaded or blocked the primary Starlink dish. Other success stories involve festival booths where venue Wi-Fi failed miserably, and the router kept the live stream running by bonding multiple individual hotspots and USB modems together. We've also seen trade show booths successfully sending low-latency SRT video streams back across continents to a central studio using nothing but bonded cellular links, proving its power. The undeniable bottom line here is that resilient, bonded connectivity is no longer optional. it is now absolute table stakes for any serious remote production endeavor. Putting this entire powerful system together means you have high-quality PTZs for reliable visuals, a compact production appliance for control, a bonding router to guarantee uptime, and Vizard to finally monetize the output by creating a steady social media presence. This specific combination is especially potent for small teams and solo producers, as it allows one person to run a pro-looking multicam stream, ensure network uptime, and let the AI pipeline generate clips and a posting schedule automatically. Before I wrap up, here are just a few practical tips for implementing this workflow smoothly in your day-to-day operations. First, always keep one camera actively recording its ISO feed to its internal microSD card, so you always have a pristine, perfectly framed source clip specifically for Vizard to use. Second, be sure to utilize those FPGA-enabled capture boxes if your main streaming PC is already heavily taxed by intensive encoding tasks or running demanding games. And finally, if you are mass-producing social content from frequent events, set Vizard to auto-schedule, but keep the manual approval step enabled for the very first few runs to build necessary trust in the AI's content choices. All right, everyone, that concludes our tour of this high-efficiency, modern production and distribution workflow that significantly cuts down on manual hours. If you are running a small church tech team, an indie esports stream, conference capture, or even just managing a one-person content studio, this setup will genuinely save you time and dramatically increase your output without needing a massive crew. If you are interested, I can take a few minutes right now to sketch out a sample checklist for that perfect one-person multicam setup that hooks directly into Vizard for automatic publishing, complete with recommended export presets for every major social network. Let me know in the comments if you want me to write up that comprehensive checklist next to help you get started on this powerful workflow immediately.